Greetings from the Mickey Mouse Millennium, fellow armchair Imagineers. Blue Dragon 5 here, hosting a very dated and nostalgic installment of Disney Debates 2000s edition. Tonight's trendy throwback topics include the following: most underrated 2000s Disney movie, best world building in a 2000s Pixar film, and best Imagineering achievement from, you guessed it, the 2000s. All right, folks. Time to board the superstar limo. Be sure to snap a pic of the Grizzly Peak. Then enter the highly unstable yet thrilling teleporter pods that will take us all the way up to the Galactic Arena. In this corner, the Polynesian Punch Buggy, who's definitely been eating his spinach puffs, a man who's seen Lilo and Stitch over 626 times in counting. Put all four of your hands together for Tiki!
Slight correction, Mr. Gibbs. This is not a K. It is a drawing of a K.
In the opposing corner, sailboarding in, a young man clever as that Milo Thatch, sporting a mighty impressive cybernetic arm. Someone play the graduation music. It's Jacob Wile!
Bring me the horizon.
Yeah, and joining me, of course, on the Council of Judges, it's Jacob Gulliver and Laura Canada!
Hello! We're excited to be here.
Hi.
Woo! So, everyone, we're all here. How are we?
I'm doing good. You know what I just found out, guys, a couple days ago that I want to bring up given the Lilo and Stitch of it all? So, June 26th is apparently Stitch Day because of the 626 of it all. And I think that's adorable.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Just wanted to throw that out there. I'm genuinely going to celebrate Stitch Day next year now that I'm aware of that.
Nice.
Surprised you didn't think about it.
I genuinely haven't, but and it's appropriate too because the movie came out in June. Anyways, we got Monkey here in the chat saying dated and nostalgic. Yes, I'll take some in my veins
For sure.
Theme Park Priest is here. Z and K channel. It's like Mad Hatter Day. Don't quite know what the Mad Hatter
No, it means
has
like the
to do.
dates. There's like another date that correlates with the Mad Hatter.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I forget what the card on the hat is number-wise, but that's,
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I guess is it literally like 626 for that too, or is that just like okay? Well, there you go. That's why.
Wait, no. The Mad Hatter thing isn't 626. It's
Obvious.
it's 10-6.
There you go.
Yeah.
10-6. There you go.
All right.
All right. Okay. So a little refresher on the rules for anyone new joining us, as well as a little refresher for some old friends we haven't seen in a while. I'm just kind of gathering yet another month, in our long line of months talking Disney stuff and just debating because we're very rambunctious. Okay. So here are the rules. Okay, so we got 3 main rounds, which we're going to go around. Our competitors are going to reveal their pick. We're going to go around again. They're going to give an opening statement, and then it's a fight to the finish. That will be ended when my other little associate here, R2D2, he speaks. R2's the bell. When he makes with the sounds, it's time for the judges to deliberate. And when they deliberate, they're going to cast a vote. When they cast a vote, they're going to decide who made the best argument. The most votes lands the point for the round. Players.
Is Dragon losing it?
I want to make sure everyone can follow along.
It's just the way you were saying it.
Oh dear.
I like it when Dragon gets unhinged a little bit.
Yeah,
I do too.
keeps us on our toes.
Yeah.
All right. So at the end of 3 rounds, we will have, of course, the built-in optional feature of our little game. That's going to be offered to both players, aka the coin, which in this case is straight from the Disney vault. It's the John Silver dollar. in this
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Clever.
for John Silver Dollar. Now, hidden, much like a hidden Mickey, like in most of our games, there is a hidden coin. In this case, the hidden coin, of course, we'll check for at the end of each round. Could be in any round, whether it's the speed round, whether it's the main round. It's hidden somewhere, and this coin is sneaky, sneaky. It's the Eisner coin.
Okay.
If you flip it on heads, it just says hello.
You might be right. All right. So after the main rounds,
Do we even have the Katzenberg coin?
Well, it wasn't really around on the Disney side of things in the 2000s. Well, you already know that. Yeah.
I know, but I guess we do another DreamWorks debate.
The
Then.
Katzen coin. All right, now I seriously want to just make. I just want to make the whole bell for this debate just hello.
That would be hilarious. Unfortunately, we only have R2 in the budget. So anyway, so
hello, Michael Eisner.
hello,
just
I'm Michael Eisner.
every time you do it, it'd be a different hello.
Yep.
No, not hello, Mike. Hello, I'm Michael Eisner. Just the word hello.
Hello, Mickey.
All right.
No, but you're right. Just hello. But regardless, so after the main rounds, we enter the speed round, which we will be taking, and we have some pre-submitted audience questions. And just to tee it up, there's going to be some surprises. And I'll remind you, the audience, assuming they are here, and otherwise the audience who might submit some live questions, they will call the winners of those rounds. They will be the sole judges of those rounds. But again, that's when we get to the speed rounds. Just file that away, folks. Stick with us.
Our fate is in your hands.
Yep, and there are some surprises, twists, and turns along the way, especially with kind of you're in the hands of the audience. So no telling what's going to happen. So remember, folks, contestants, the aim of the game is the first to 5 points wins. You'll understand these rules as I have explained them to you both here this fine evening.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's cue the randomizer.
Like, what would happen if someone was just like, "No, Dragon, I don't understand."
Well, then I have to go through it again.
All right. Anyways,
Yeah,
we should get to the third round and be like, "Hey, Dragon, what are the rules again?"
Yep.
All right, Jacob. The randomizer has been like nicer to you than it's been in the past. I think it's warming up to you.
Yeah, Jacob's been sending flowers. It's been paying off.
Yeah, we made up behind this. Yeah, like I've been spending time behind. I've been spending time as a judge. We kind of made up it during the time off.
Yeah.
All right,
about
let's
the
get
little
into
things. Okay, let's board the SS Ulysses and dive on in with round one. All right, so I think it's about time we highlight the Disney films that don't get a lot of love and attention. So we're gonna remedy that with round numero uno. What is the most underrated 2000s Disney movie? And also a little accoutrement would be nice, Tiki. Little dressing.
Yeah, gotcha. Sorry.
All right.
Don't wait up on my behalf. I got it.
I was going to go all shock and awe with it, but okay. All right. So again, everything was on the table, folks. Both animation, live action was all for the taking, and we're going to reveal who has what. Starting with Tiki. Tiki, what did you pick?
I picked Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. Yeah, that's right. It's not just animated.
I picked Teacher's Pet, the movie.
Okay.
All right. Shock and awe. So it says, I just want to appreciate now that it's there. Okay. Opening statements. Tiki, dazzle me.
All right, so Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest is a very unique film, in my opinion, in the history of blockbuster filmmaking, and that is why I don't think it gets enough love. Obviously, it's a film that people have seen, and I feel like probably more people have seen it than Teacher's Pet. That's true, but I'm arguing underrated as far as it doesn't get nearly as much love and praise as it should get. It's I feel like the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise obviously fell off after a certain point. We all know that. We all know that the later Pirates movies dilute the previous ones. But I think what Dead Man's Chest did, and what it did really well as far as blockbuster filmmaking goes, is it went a long way towards serializing blockbuster filmmaking. Dead Man's Chest is an incredibly enjoyable, rompous action adventure. It's a sequel that really builds on the characters, believe it or not. Jack Sparrow is kind of at his peak in this movie because he's both comedic and also he's very world weary. He's genuinely fighting for his life. It's a struggle for survival for him, which is not something you can say in the other movies. You got a crazy cliffhanger with Barbossa, but you also got a lot of mini cliffhangers. And I think the mini cliffhangers in particular, like, oh my God, Norrington's got the heart and he's giving it to Beckett. And oh my God, Jack Sparrow got swallowed by the Kraken, and now they have to go to Davy Jones's locker to get it back. I mean, it's like all those things are like hanging loose, where it's like it's not just the one cliffhanger; it's the fact that like it's like a whole TV season's worth of cliffhangers just hanging there. And while I don't necessarily think that At World's End followed it up all that well, I think that those cliffhangers really went a long way. Like, I really think they were a stepping stone towards getting to something like the MCU, where At World's End was being made at the same time. And so they really were looking at it as kind of like a big, epic sort of story. And like I said, I really do think it's a stepping stone. Not only that, but like I said, I feel like the characters, they really do build. Norrington, I love Norrington in this movie. I think he's got a great kind of like black sheep arc. I feel like all the characters in this movie are at their most desperate, and it's got a darker tone. Davy Jones is obviously an iconic villain. And like I said, I think it's underrated just as far as people shit on this movie, and they really shouldn't. I really think this movie stands neck and neck with Curse of the Black Pearl. I know that's a controversial statement. I think Curse of the Black Pearl is a more kind of like old Hollywood feeling action movie. It's more of kind of like a classic kind of Spielbergian style action movie. This, Dead Man's Chest, I feel like is a great example of a modern blockbuster. That's all I got to say for right now.
Okay, Jacob, dazzle me.
Again, I went with kind of an unconventional choice with Teacher's Pet, mainly because it's based on even the series that it's based on is kind of not really well known outside of like Circle, and that's what kind of underrated speaks to me. Like it's a hidden gem, but moderately well received within the circles, but definitely deserves the more the love it gets. Surprisingly, it's the only one of the few Disney animated movies to be based on a TV show, and it's actually, unfortunately, the poor performance of this is what actually killed future productions like that. But it's a shame because this movie is actually very fluidly animated, very beautifully told, has a great story, good musical numbers featuring songs from the cast. Honestly, it does even have a darker tone than the actual series. More involved plot and everything. Maybe it's not as like action packed or anything or stepping stone as you say as Dead Man's Chest is, but it fits a different kind of definition of underrated. As in it's like a hidden gem that definitely deserves more love.
Right.
All right, boys, let's fight it out.
Great, so I'm going to be pretty civil with this one because I do think it's a very interesting, like, I feel like this is going to be one of those debates where we're going to be more arguing about, like, the wording of the question itself because it's two kind of polar opposite sides of underrated, right? It's kind of like It's underrated in the sense of, like, we have a movie that's obviously, like, a big blockbuster, but a lot of people shit on it. And we also have a movie where it's very much a cult movie, but that's the thing. That's the distinction I want to make between underrated and cult, because I feel like Teacher's Pet is much more of a cult movie than it is an underrated movie. Because I feel like the people that do watch the Teacher's Pet movie are either fans of the show or they do genuinely really like it. It is underrated in the sense that not a lot of people go to it. Not a lot of people seek it out, certainly. But I feel like critically it is not an underrated film. I feel like critically it really holds up a lot. Like most people that remember it, like people remember it very fondly. And I feel like that's the thing with Dead Man's Chest is the sequels really diluted people's opinion of Dead Man's Chest.
Well, the thing is, like, people can watch Teacher's Pet without really the movie, without even really needing to see the series, because the opening musical number actually pretty much describes the main plot of the series we've seen so far. And I don't really, and again, going along with the whole different definition of underrated, I wouldn't even call Dead Man's Chest underrated in its own series. I mean, as you say, people do shit on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're saying it's underrated. Like, maybe overhated, but not underrated.
I think, I mean, I do think that, I think that with the Pirates films, for me, most of the, like, there's a couple video essays out there that argue for Dead Man's Chest, but for me, like, the broad spectrum of the conversation kind of starts and ends with, like, yeah, Pirates was great with the first movie, but man, all the sequels shat the bed. And that's kind of my argument. I really think that with Pirates, like I said, it's kind of like it's got the legacy factor going on, where there's a lot of stuff that Dead Man's Chest did that not even Curse of the Black Pearl did, that really kind of like reinvented the wheel in a lot of ways. And for people to just write off all the Pirates of the Caribbean sequels is just like, oh, they're all trash. They're all trash. Just burn them all. The series is just terrible after the first movie. Like, I think it's very disingenuous, and it's always frustrated me.
Well, the problem is, like, they're all, as you kind of are in this argument, focusing on the other sequels instead of this own movie. They're not letting the movie stand on their own merits.
Right. My argument is that Dead Man's Chest does stand on its own merits. I did argue with the cliffhangers, but I feel like the cliffhangers are very memorable, and to me, it doesn't even really matter, because you don't really need to see it's one of those movies where it's smack dab in the middle of the continuity of the Pirates franchise. But I would argue you don't really need to see the other movies, because it's a movie that's very much built on set pieces and very much built on larger than life characters. And so, I mean, to me, it feels like just kind of a very standout kind of like, I don't know, like the Pirates movies to me are like almost more Indiana Jones, but a little bit more serialized. And so because of that, like there's so many iconic moments in Dead Man's Chest between Cannibal Island and the Wheel Well fight. And the Wheel Well fight, by the way, I think is the best fight in any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. The character development's really on point. Davy Jones is really on point. With Teacher's Pet, I really think with Teacher's Pet, the movie, it's not even really that great of an animated movie. It's good. Like, it's a solid movie. But I would argue that I think Recess Schools Out is like far better as far as a theatrical
was that the
adaptation.
2000s?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Well, that's another reason why I didn't go with that one. That one is arguably more well known than this is. And I'd honestly say that as a plot wise, I would say Teacher's Pet holds up more than Dead Man's Chest does.
It's a super simple plot, though. I mean,
simple doesn't. Simple doesn't mean bad, though. You can have simple and amazing, or complex and amazing, or simple and terrible, or complex and terrible. I'm not saying Dead Man's Chest is terrible, but it's more on the mixed side of things. It's like too many things going on at once.
I think that, again, I feel like it kind of speaks to, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a movie that's just kind of like wall-to-wall crazy action and reinvented Pirates mythology and I will admit the Pirates mythology in Dead Man's Chest does get a little bombastic. I will totally admit that. But I think what it lacks in kind of, like, clarity, it makes up for in just, like, it's using this pirate iconography like Davy Jones and the concept of the locker and the concept of the Dead Man's Chest itself. And it's really twisting it into its own narrative. And to me, that's really captivating stuff as a storyteller.
And if we're talking about, like, real world being being underrated, it's like, this was like, Dead Man's Chest, I believe, was like not only was it the first Disney film to probably gross more than $1 billion at the box office, it also reinvented the ride it's based on.
I would argue that with the reinvention, it was more so just like the popularity of the franchise as a whole. There's a lot of hype, like that was inevitable. That was going to happen even before Dead Man's Chest came out. But
and they reuse it mainly based on this movie. Like they have a lot of scenes from Davy Jones and everything in that movie. Like, if anything, this movie gets a lot of representation, and I wouldn't call that being underrated.
Well, like I said, I think critically it just gets it deserves more of a legacy than it has. I like it might in as far as the park thing goes, I don't even really think that's a good argument because not a lot of people like the changes that they made to the park. Um so I don't know. I think with Teacher's Pet, I feel like Teacher's Pet is almost like I said, I feel like critically it's just fine. Like it's a just fine movie. It's got great musical numbers in it, but other than that, nothing really stands out for me.
I mean, I thought a lot of like the vocal performances stand out, like Kelsey Grammer in particular, as the doctor.
I mean, that's fair, but
I mean, if anything, I mean, you might say like the plot is basic, but like the voice acting and story is anything. Voice acting is anything, but like you can tell everybody really gave it their all.
I mean, it's a Disney cartoon. Of course, the voice acting is going to be good. Like that is one of the things about like being based on a TV show. It's like like TV shows are one of the things in the media. It's kind of like a given.
Can we really say the same thing about the Pirates? I mean, outside of a few examples, a lot of the acting in the Dead Man's Chest is kind of wooden.
Oh, I strongly disagree. I feel like I feel like all the performers in the Pirates franchise are at their height in Dead Man's Chest. Like, I don't necessarily think it's not the type of acting. It's not the type of acting that's going to win Oscars, but I feel like they're all committed to it. Like Keira Knightley, she's a little wooden in these movies, sure, but her character arc is solid. She's got a really independent arc. Like, she's definitely not the damsel in distress. I really respect the fact that with this movie, she's the one that's kind of going out and getting shit done. She's arguably the most the character with the most agency in the entire plot. She's the one that dooms Jack Sparrow in the end and lets them all get away. That's just one example of maybe the acting's a little bit wooden, but all the characters really step up to the plate. All the characters are there and evolved, and you got folks like Pintel and Draghetti who are great comic relief, and they don't necessarily have to have character development. And then on the other side of the coin, you got Norrington, who I think is one of the most interesting bits of character development in between sequels that I've seen in a modern day blockbuster. His arc between the two movies, I would watch a movie just based on that time period in between the two. It's so interesting. So, I mean, Jacob, I knew that the $1 billion point was going to come up. Like, how could I not? That is it made money. Of course it made money. But I still think that there's so many things that I still take from Dead Man's Chest that I really just don't think I just think people lump the sequels together so much. People hold Curse of the Black Pearl up on such a pedestal, and I really think it's unfair for me personally. I mean, I was going into this knowing that I was going to be the underdog, but I'm just kind of speaking from the heart here.
As am I, but as I'm saying, that doesn't really speak underrated to me. Like I said, underrated. I mean, this movie still, even if it gets talked about, it doesn't necessarily mean underrated. I think the term is more it's overhated, and I agree, the movie is overhated. But
if that's what I want to argue, then that's what I'll argue. But
okay, Gulliver, what are you thinking?
First and foremost, I think the term overhated but not necessarily underrated is fantastic. And I have to award some points there.
Thank you.
That is definitely going to make its way into my lexicon of terms.
Thank you.
And I do think there is something to be said for the underratedness of Teacher's Pet as described. But neither of these movies had particularly strong associations for me. But through the arguments made, I think Tiki is making a stronger point for why Dead Man's Chest should be remembered more than it is. And don't get me wrong, Teacher's Pet has Nathan Lane, but Dead Man's Chest has Bill Nighy.
Yeah.
And that is a winning card hand for me.
But you can never go wrong with Rattlesnake Jake.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Laura.
Sorry, I'm muting my mic. This is a really hard one because every time one person's I'm just a terrible judge, but every time one person spoke, then I was like, yes, I agree with everything they say. And the next person had a counter argument. I'm like, yes, that now I'm leaning towards that one, and back and forth. I would say I'm just a 1%, just 1%, slightly over to Teacher's Pet as the winner for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm divided myself because
tiebreaker, Dragon. It is a tough choice.
Oh, Andy. Okay, here's where I'm coming down on it. So Tiki had a really great game plan with this. He really did, and he was making his points very strongly. And I got to tell you though, Jacob did really kind of impress me where I turned around with the whole, with the financial point and the fact, like, how is it underrated if, again, it's been adapted into the ride. So, it's by a narrow margin, and I mean, again, I'm really impressed with both sides of this fight. I'm going to go with Jacob for round one.
That's totally fine.
Nice.
All right, so Jacob.
I knew I was going to be the underdog in that one.
Well, you were very close, Tiki. It was a very narrow margin.
I kind of thought I'd be the underdog with this choice.
Well,
no, I mean, I knew that the $1 billion point was going to come up, so. All right.
Okay, so let me look for that Eisner coin here. Hold on, let me take a little look. See, oh my, I found it. We got it.
Wow.
Wait. What? Why is it? It's gooey. What? Morph! Get out of here, Morph! Out of here! Oh, sorry, it was Morph pretending to be the coin.
Morph, you wee little trickster, you.
Yeah, you little gelatinous Loki. Get out of here! All right. Sorry, false alarm, guys.
It's a good thing
Moving on to round two.
It's a good thing I've seen Treasure Planet.
Yeah. All right, so this month saw the release of Luca, which of course took us to such locations like the Italian Riviera, aka Porto Rosso, which is beautiful. And, the 2000s era of Pixar bred a number of interesting worlds, which begs the question, which 2000s Pixar film has the best world building?
All right, I've got Monsters, Inc.
And I've got Wally.
We've also got the first banner up.
Right.
Okay, so now we've gotten Jacob's. Okay, so opening statement.
Okay, I'm gonna make it short with Monsters Inc. I feel like I have to explain myself a lot less on this one than I do for Dead Man's Chest. Honestly, I feel like Monsters Inc. is just a classic as far as Pixar world building goes. You got the doors; they're iconic. The doors lead to all these different worlds. You got the setup of just the monsters themselves. It's just an incredibly well structured world with its own economy and its own hierarchy. And I really feel like it was the first Pixar movie to just go all out with like with Toy Story, it was like, it's kind of emulating real life. Same with Bug's Life. This was the first one where it's like, we're going to literally like invent a world from the ground up. And Wally plays around with some incredible sci-fi themes, I'll give it that much, but it's still technically located on planet Earth. This movie, like I said, it's literally building a world. And to this day, I think it's probably the most original and ambitious of all the Pixar worlds, just in terms of, like, if you go back, like, like Porto Rosso or The Land of the Dead or anything like that, it's all based on something. Even Inside Out is kind of derivative of different things, like, oh God, I'm sorry, this is shit. The Cranium Command, I'm sorry, brain fart. But, but Monsters, Inc. is entirely its own. Monsters, Inc. is basically like, all right, we're going to take the concept of monsters hiding under a little kid's bed or in a little kid's closet, and we're just going to run with it. We're just going to create an entire world out of it. And that's what I admire about Monsters, Inc. I think to this day, it's maybe the most creative from the ground up world that Pixar has ever created.
Jacob?
All right. World building can mean quite a few different things. As Tiki pointed out in his, it's because I was building a unique world. But with others, it's like building the world building the world that the story takes place in. And of all of the movies from the 2000s, I think WALL-E does that the best. From the opening where we hear out there juxtaposed against space, the zoom in, it tells us basically everything we need to know. WALL-E is basically a modern day masterclass of the classic showing and not telling. Like without barely any dialogue throughout the entire thing, it tells everyone in the audience what this world is, what it's like, what it's about, without a single word of spoken dialogue, except for like that line from that live action Fred Willard, but that's more of a stylistic choice rather than a world building one. For Thomas Newman's score, the panning shots, basically it builds, and even from the beginning it shows us what the world is, and even out in space, just the environmental storytelling of the Axiom. WALL-E is pretty much the best of the best when it comes to the world building of that form.
Okay, all right, guys, just fight it out.
WALL-E, I feel like the world building and the storytelling get blurred in that movie, and that's where I think your argument falls apart, Jacob. I feel like
the world building is the storytelling. It's called environmental storytelling.
Yes, it is, and that's kind of where I have a problem with your argument, because I feel like the storytelling in this movie is so abstract that
it's not really abstract. It's not as abstract as a world of monsters.
You don't really get that's kind of my point, though. You're kind of making my argument. It's like,
no,
it's Earth. It's Earth. Like, you get it's post-apocalyptic. Like, what I really like about Monsters, Inc., like I said, is how you get this whole world. You get this whole kind of crazy, like, hierarchy.
It's Earth, but monsters.
Yeah. No, that is a good point. I don't know. I just think with WALL-E, you just have a lot of God damn it. WALL-E's always been a tricky movie with me because it's just, I don't know. Like, to me, I just feel like the world building in WALL-E has always been a little overrated. To me, it's just like, okay, like, we've seen a post-apocalyptic Earth before. It's nothing new.
You're not saying it's bad, though.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's derivative. It's great sci-fi, but it's sci-fi that I've seen. Like, we've never seen anything like Monsters, Inc. We haven't seen anything like Monsters, Inc. since Monsters, Inc. Whereas WALL-E is like baby's first post-apocalyptic story. Like, it's very basic world building when you get down to it, Jacob. It's very basic world building. It's like, okay, the humans fucked up. They left a bunch of trash. There's a bunch of trash all over the planet. Like, that's fine. It almost hammers the point in too much, in my opinion.
And it does it entirely without dialogue. It doesn't hammer it in. You're just like, oh, there's a scream story. Oh, we're monsters. We have to do screams. Like, it's like your world build is entirely based on expository dialogue.
Literally has exposition dump. Your world building literally has an exposition dump in it. My world building is entirely based on what you see in the film. It rolls out in front of you. It's like your world building. It's like, hey, I'm Fred Willard, and I'm going to explain the plot to you. I don't like that, Jacob. That to me is what's frustrating about WALL-E. And I'm sorry if I come out this hostile. I'm just frustrating with everyone just glowing about WALL-E is not that creative. It's like even in the Axiom, like, we've seen these types of like utopian human ships before. It's not that creative. I'm sorry. I'm palatably frustrated at how creative everyone thinks WALL-E is. Like, it's a good story. It's executed well, but it's not mind-blowing world building. Like,
And
like I said, it's
Mon-
basic world building, in my opinion.
Monsters Inc. is basically just a human world with monsters thrown into it. It's not much.
Dude, okay, you keep saying that. You keep saying that, but I think you're missing the point of with Monsters Inc. You have this whole hierarchy that's involved there. And you have the fact that there's limitless possibilities, and you have the fact that there's all kinds of different layers within the factory. It's like, and not to mention, I feel like Monsters Inc. really spread out into, like, you know, now we're doing Monsters at Work. We did Monsters University. It's a whole world that we can explore. No one is asking for Wall-E 2. Like, Monsters Inc. set up a world that is bigger than just the factory and the quote-unquote monsters in a human Earth. Like, I honestly think just saying that is a cop-out because, like you saying that... You saying that is just as much of a cop-out is me saying that, oh, Wall-E is just post-apocalyptic Earth. It's like, I feel like that kind of evens out our arguments because, you know, it's like it's not about the aesthetics. It's about what they do with the aesthetics. It's about the hierarchy. It's about the complexities of it. And like I said, with Wall-E, there's nothing complex about Wall-E.
There's a lot of things complex about Wall-E.
Like what?
The storytelling, the world building, the exploration. Like, if you look, I mean, look at it. Everything you see isn't explained to you by dialogue. As I said before, it's not exactly the most.
You get the 5-minute Fred Willard exposition dump that literally just like spells out everything for you.
Yeah,
that's boring to me. That's boring storytelling to me. Every time a movie does something like that, I phase the fuck out.
Tell me where the 5-minute dialogue dump is.
The Fred Willard billboard, who's just like, "Hi, I'm Fred Willard. I'm going to spell out the entire history of By and Large."
Yeah, in like 30 seconds.
Can we just change this to most overrated Disney movie of the 2000s? Because it's Wall-E. It's Wall-E. Wall-E is a very average movie to me that's just dressed up in like, oh my god, they don't speak. It's pantomime. Oh my god. Like, I know I'm going to lose this round. I'm just palatably frustrated. Wall-E is not as good as everyone makes it out to be. It's like two short movies like mashed together into one movie. Monsters Inc. has so much more concise stuff going on. It's got the you know, I don't know. Just the mere thing that the monsters are afraid of children and that they think the children are toxic. Like, that alone, that's just one wrinkle of the creativity that I'm talking about with the with the Pixar crew, where it's like they had to come up like aesthetically it might not be the whole film takes place in a factory. What do you want? But it's the ideas that are at play. It's the fact that, like, you don't know what's behind any of those doors. It's the fact that we see the abominable snowman as like an exiled monster. What's his story? It's like there's all these little bits and pieces of world building in Monsters Inc. Whereas with Wall-E, I think it's just like, you get it? You get it? Humans fucked up the planet. You get it? Do you get it?
Okay.
Shove that message down your goddamn throat.
All right. We're done. Okay. Oh, boy. This is a tricky one. All right.
Not really.
What?
I didn't say anything.
Sure. Right. Laura, why don't you cast the first vote?
Alrighty. So I'm going to start with Wall-E is a different kind of film. And by that, it tried to tell a story in a certain way, in a unique way, that was different than other films. At the same time, if we're talking about creating, and maybe we're not, but if this is the argument that got to me, is the franchisable world. Like, you started with Monsters Inc., then you went out to Monsters U, and now it's Monsters at Work and whatnot. So that created, so if you talk about creating a whole world that you can play in, like a sandbox, then I'm going to give it to Monsters Inc.
All right, so her vote is for Tiki. All right, so Tiki's got one vote on the board. All right, here's where I'm coming down on it. This was a very interesting fight because I think Tiki started very, very strong. And then Jacob went for like the Achilles tendon when he said, it's Earth but with monsters.
Yeah, that got me.
That's what I'm saying. Honestly, Tiki, it's not that your points were good, but you were a salivating madman. It's like the ending of Chicanery from Better Call Saul. He got you on the sit. You were like, he was defecating. He defecated through a sunroof. That was you just now.
I'm just sick of everyone's like. Wally is great, but I'm sick of the praise. I don't get it.
You got completely distracted from the point. You were just railing against Wally. That's what I'm saying. So for that reason, I have to not give you the point. I have to not vote for you, Tiki. So my fault, whether I like it or not, it's going to Jacob. So again, Jacob had some good points, but you both kind of got repetitive. Only Jacob wasn't salivating at the mouth. All right, Oliver. Go bring in some civility here. Some comments.
I want to first give points for the passion and the argument and the persuasive ability that Tiki threw into his side of the debate. However, I do not agree with Tiki on this. I think Jacob Wile has left out a few of the well done bits of world building and storytelling in Wall-E, and I would have to agree that is the better choice. Monsters Inc. is also a very good choice. These are both great choices for this particular debate.
True.
But I'm going to side with Jacob Wile on this one.
Yeah, so Jacob's got 2 on the board. Now we have some interesting comments I want to shout out because I kind of might have contest. Yep.
My alternate choice was actually Ratatouille.
That would have been really cool too, but it's also just kind of Paris though, so I don't know how far that would have got you. But it's cool though.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I didn't go. It's like, it's just like how I win with him is like, it's just human world with the human world with monsters. But
I would have gone Incredibles, honestly, if it were.
And then his with this pet, and it's like that would be Earth but with superheroes.
Well, okay, but so let me read some.
Sorry, didn't mean to set off a tirade there.
So earlier, a boy, Claude Green,
Claude.
So he says for the first round, he said, "What about an extremely goofy movie as the most underrated 2000s Disney movie?"
That
would have been an interesting choice.
An extremely goofy movie.
Yeah, extremely goofy, the sequel. So that would have been the 2000s.
I mean, extremely goofy movie is okay, but I would wager that something like Croc's New Groove is better than that. I don't even think that's the most underrated.
Does that count? I mean, I went with exclusively theatrical picks for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know direct. I mean, I wouldn't have chosen any of the DTV sequels, direct to video sequels anyway. But I just didn't know that. I just didn't know if they would be on the table.
Believe it or not, I actually watched 101 Dalmatians 2, not to be confused with 102 Dalmatians, and it's surprisingly A tier as far as Disney sequels go. It surprisingly was really good. Yes.
It's actually surprisingly not bad.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so let's see. So ZNK channel had a really interesting comment about the debate that just kind of unfolded there. It says, "I'd say Monsters Inc. does its world building, basically, explanations and expositions it comes with in a more gradual nature, whereas Wall-E throws all of its setup right at the start with the projection screens."
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fair point.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get so defensive about the Fred Willard thing. And,
you did. You snapped on Fred Willard, man.
R.I.P. Fred. R.I.P. Fred.
It's like, show me where Fred Willard hurt you.
Look, every time I watch Wall-E, that is the point where the movie just screeches to
also, it wasn't a billboard. It was it was the secret program for auto. It wasn't like a billboard or anything.
I'm just saying, it's just to me, it's one of the biggest Pixar exposition dumps where it's okay, how are we gonna get exposition in a movie that doesn't have dialogue? Oh, we'll just do dialogue. Duh.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I think that's good for now. We'll see what else comes up. Everything else is pretty much. There's some talk about Monsters at Work, which is coming up. Theme Park Priest apparently wasn't aware of Monsters at Work. So yeah, that's coming this coming week.
Really?
I believe. Yeah, it's this Friday.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm convinced it's going to be set right before the end of the first Monsters Inc.
It's actually literally said like right after the events of the movie.
Oh yeah, I guess we'll see. Yeah, you might be right. I guess I'm just trying to factor. Maybe it's like the transitional phase. But anyway, getting back and forth. First, let me look for that blasted coin. All right, hold on. All right, let's see. I got a coin, but it's an Atlantean doubloon, so this is not helpful. Okay, we're gonna go to round 3. All right, round 3. What is the best Imagineering achievement of, you guessed it, the 2000s?
Expedition Everest.
I went with the Haunted Mansion holiday overlay.
All right, give me some open statements.
I'm going to make this short and sweet, man. Expedition Everest made Animal Kingdom what it was. Before Expedition Everest, Animal Kingdom was basically a zoo. This put the park on the map in a big, bad way. It's easily one of the most iconic pieces of rock work that Disney's ever done. It's one of the most iconic fake mountains in the world, as far as I'm concerned. The storytelling in this thing is incredibly rich if you actually look at the queue for it, where you're going through this Yeti museum and really getting the culture, the authentic kind of Asian and Himalayan culture of the surrounding area in this museum. You're really just taking it all in. And the ride itself is fantastic. The ride itself is just infinitely rewritable. It's the perfect scale of coaster where it'll get the thrill seekers, but it's also a ride that a more hardened grandma can ride. It's like a perfect in-between coaster as far as Disney thrill levels go. I feel like this thing was one of the very last gasps of fully original, immersive Imagineering storytelling that did not rely on IP at all. And I think it's a masterpiece. I really do. I think it's, as far as pacing, as far as iconography, as far as just setting the details, it's one of the best things that Disney's ever done, period. I honestly kind of think it's a little underrated just how good it is.
All right, Jacob.
Okay, this is not what I'm entirely confident in. Mainly because there's, as I said in our private chat, there were not a lot of good picks in this time period.
There was literally the entirety of Tokyo Disney Sea.
But like I said, I'm not very familiar with that. But the most I've seen from them is the Imagineering story, which is still good, by the way.
That's why God invented YouTube.
Yes, unfortunately, I couldn't do much preparation in 24 hours.
Fair enough.
but I'll do it what I can. But I am confident in. I'll give it my best shot with Haunted Mansion Holiday. Yes, it is kind of based on an IP, and it's kind of but it's like the crossover of holidays that emphasizes both the original mansion and the IP that it draws upon, The Nightmare Before Christmas, in a unique, interesting way. Bringing these two worlds together, it was something that was that kind of almost made too much sense. But upon it reveals, it works actually very well. It's still it's still kind of a haunted mansion in a way, but it's entirely new. It's a new experience, I should say. The production even though it does have the same basic overlay as the mansion, the brand new visual storytelling though is top notch. You see, it brings in the unique design of The Nightmare Before Christmas and transforms it into a magical overlay that completely transforms the look and feel of the Haunted Mansion, which I know some people might say is heresy, but that's not the point here. Either way, it presents a unique experience. It has the unique storytelling. We get to have the cast return, the new music, and everything. It presents a very fun overlay that works.
All right, let's fight.
Yep, that's fight.
I mean, do I even need to get into the whole thing of where Expedition Everest was the most expensive Disney attraction ever? It's just what?
That's not really much of an achievement, but
no, I'm saying like we're comparing like we're comparing like Expedition Everest is just this huge scale thing that literally defined an entire park. What the hell is that noise?
I was just using an air duster. There was something on my computer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's very distracting.
All right, I'll put it away. Sorry.
Okay. Like Expedition Everest, like I said, I feel like it's one of the most photogenic attractions in the world, Disney or otherwise. Haunted Mansion Holiday is nice. It's an overlay, but I'm going to try and put my personal bias aside because I really don't like Haunted Mansion Holiday at all, frankly. But I think Haunted Mansion Holiday, it definitely overstays its welcome. In execution, it's way more Christmas than it is Halloween. I don't think it balances the two as good as it should. It's way more just like, hey, look, we've got... Because honestly, I feel like it'd be a better attraction if there was more of a marriage of the two. Instead, it's just like, okay, guys, Jack put up a lot of Christmas decorations in the mansion. I don't know. Like, I would honestly be more into it if it was like kind of like, you know, if Jack was trying to like combine Christmas and Halloween into one thing or something like that. Like, to me, I just feel like, yes, it is. Like, I don't necessarily think the idea of the Haunted Mansion getting overlays is sacrilegious, and I will give you a freebie and say that I do think Haunted Mansion Holiday has some historical impact as far as, you know, like setting the stage for other overlays. But what I will say is sacrilegious, and I think this is just kind of like a big knock against Haunted Mansion Holiday for me, is it bothers the ever-living crap out of me that I can't go to the Disneyland Haunted Mansion during October, during Halloween time, and ride the regular Haunted Mansion. I have to ride this Christmas thing. Like, I understand why it has to be that way for, you know, for logistic reasons. It takes time to put this together, but it bothers me, man. I just, like, when that thing is up in full-blown Christmas mode during Halloween, I don't like it. Jacob, I'll give you some room.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking... Yeah.
I mean, I could keep going. I'm passionate about how much I dislike Haunted Mansion Holiday. I feel like it's not been changed up as much as it should be in all the years that it's been around. Like, they've added a couple figures here and there, but I really wish that they go all out if it's going to be around for as long as it is. I really wish they just go all out and change more of it. I feel like the attic scene in particular is very stale and it hasn't been changed in a long time. And I want something else besides like, oh, look, here's some blacklight boxes of Christmas gifts and a big snake. Rawr.
Speaking of, Rob's like, hey, there's a Yeti. And then the tracks end. It's like, yeah, it just goes backwards. It's like, it's not this. Yeah.
Did you just... I'm sorry. I just want to point this out. Did you just point out the fact that there's a Yeti at the climax of my ride is a negative?
I meant that the Yeti isn't entirely convincing. It just like it just moves its arms up and down and opens its mouth.
Okay, first of all, it doesn't even do that. It's in disco Yeti mode. It's in B mode, so it's just flashing lights. But even still, no matter what the movement is, I think the scale of that damn animatronic is what makes that finale so effective. The thing is huge, and you get really close to it. I mean, moving or not, I still think it's scary. I honestly think Disco Yeti doesn't get the respect he deserves for still being a scary show scene.
Disco Yeti.
That's what I will always call it. But I think Expedition Everest is a perfect 3-act structure for a Disney attraction, because Act 1, you're going up the mountain. You got the outdoor part where it's kind of like, you know, it's a little more scenic. You're going up the lift hill. Act 2 is the backwards part where, you know, it's kind of the something goes wrong part. And then Act 3 is the climax where you encounter the Yeti. I mean, it's perfect storytelling to me. It flows so well.
Yep.
Would you guys like to know more about what I don't like about Haunted Mansion Holiday?
Yeah, okay, I get it. Okay, I mean, yeah, just like I forfeit this round.
Wait, no. Is that official?
It's official, unfortunately.
Okay, round's forfeited. Judges, you're off the hook. So, I was leaning
That was
towards.
very therapeutic for me.
I was leaning towards Tiki, but where were you leaning, Gulliver?
What happens when it's forfeit?
That means that he doesn't get the point, Laura. It
Oh,
means
okay.
it goes to Tiki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All I was gonna say was just that, like, both of these rides are pretty cool, but
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
Tiki might have some very misguided opinions about a beloved film about two robots in love.
Yep.
But he is there is nobody I know with more expertise in rides, and he showed that expertise in this one.
Yeah. A little redemption for the frothy mouth last round.
There's no point in this one. Like I said, there weren't a lot of options that I was familiar with. I couldn't do a bunch of research, and I mean, I'm not going to try and blame anybody here. It's mostly on myself.
Well, and I wanted to say, I know it's already forfeited, but that the Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at the park, and I still think Tiki won this round. So.
Yeah, I mean, of course he won this round. I was like, it's better to go down and forfeit gracefully than just to continue fighting a losing battle.
Then just be like, fuck Fred Willard.
I guess at least I know how to go down gracefully.
I just feel so bad for Fred Willard's family right now.
Position dump.
Nice guy.
R.I.P. Fred Willard.
Yes, poor Fred Willard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some action.
Wait, is he dead?
Yes.
Yeah, he passed away.
Very sadly.
When
Yeah.
did he die?
I mean, I want to say, was it?
Last year, I think.
Yeah, was it last year or the year before?
Oh.
Wait, am I thinking of the right person?
Maybe.
I completely
He's
either
kind of an
forgot.
older dude.
Well, that's a vague description,
Yeah.
Laura, but yeah.
Like,
He's in all the
Christopher
Christopher
Nolan?
Guest movies. Yeah,
That was him?
yeah,
He's dead?
yeah.
Oh,
He passed away last year.
We're sorry to disillusion you like this, Laura, but yeah, it was quite the loss, yes.
His final role was in Space Force. He plays Steve Carell's
Yeah,
Space
spoiler.
Force on Netflix.
And
Well, now I
Not-
have to watch that movie.
it's a show, and it's not really the best thing to go out on.
Yeah.
Well, that show had its moments, though.
Yeah, it definitely has its moments. Just
Yeah.
Fred Willard's character is kind of just a one-trick pony joke.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we're
Yeah.
okay. So back
Yeah.
to
Sidetrack. Oh, it's like we like movies or something.
Yeah, I know, crazy, right? So we have some action in the comments. Of course, joining us we have Jedi Knight along with of course, earlier ZNK channel and Claude Coringa and such. Let's see. So just because he's joined us a little late here, Jedi Knight throws what his choices would have been for the rounds. He's between Emperor's New Groove and Treasure Planet. Well, I'm sorry. So Jedi Knight says the first round's tough. No, he says it's tough because Emperor's New Groove and Treasure Planet have all had kind of revivals in popularity. So Brother Bear maybe, but needs to rewatch it to be sure in terms of underrated. Let's see. Incredibles for the world building. Simpatico. And Tokyo Disney Sea is what is
Now,
it?
just to be
Attraction.
clear, it had to be a single attraction. It couldn't have been a park.
Yeah, you're right about that. But in case, so specifically, it would have to be.
I mean, I was urging Jacob to go with a Disney Sea ride, though. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't try. Jacob,
Yeah,
I think you would have had much better success with something like Journey to the Center of the Earth or something.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, I've been working for the past 6 days, and
I hear you.
and as a last minute sub, I didn't have much time to research something I wasn't entirely familiar with.
For sure.
And Z&K channel's a better pull for Fred Willard, Phil's dad from Modern Family. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Right. A journey to the center of the earth, then.
But all this does is like giving me like more impetus to actually do some looking into Tokyo Disney Sea.
Also, Vala's dad from Stargate.
Yeah.
Since we've been on a mentioning of Stargate kick the last few times I've been on
That's
the show.
true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Kind of a new trend. All right. Okay, so let me okay. Guys, I'm just gonna tell you, I wish I could find that darn coin. I mean, I'm just gonna let me check this remnant of the 2000s.
I'm prepared for this bit.
The Diamond Collection edition of Aladdin. Maybe it'll be in there. Let me shuffle it around here and nothing.
Dragon.
Yep.
Dragon always does this.
Yeah, I know.
Let me just pop it open and just see for the heck of it. I can't hear it. I can't see it. What's pinned behind the little paper, little pamphlet thing? Like, Oh my God! It's the coin. We found it. It's the Eisner. We found the Eisner coin. Okay, now this goes to the winner of the round, Tiki.
His wish came true.
Yep.
Okay, so just to clarify, I can basically flip the coin twice.
Yes, because next we're going to have the optional round. But now I'm going to warn you, Tiki.
Madness.
This what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
I'm going to warn you. The Eisner coin, like the man himself, there are two sides of this coin. There might be some repercussions, but it's your call.
I'm glad you clarified that, Dragon, because I always thought a coin just had one side.
Well, if you ask Harvey Dent, there is one side.
There's a Harvey Dent.
I like chaos, so I'm going to flip this time. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's flip it. And
right.
Heads! Fortune favors the bull. Tiki's got 2 points on the board.
Now, what would
Can
have
I
happened?
ask what would have happened if I got tails?
I think you're better off not knowing, given it worked out for you.
Like, come on.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, can you just tell us, Dragon?
Well, it would have been built into a later round. You might have lost. Might have lost an extra point down the line.
Oh God. Okay.
kind of a delayed snake poison effect. But,
Oh, jeez.
kind of a whole "you betrayed the shareholders" kind of effect.
Oh God.
We're just gonna move on.
Okay.
Save Disney debates.
And then for the next one, you know what? Since Jacob and I are tied up, I'm not going to chance him going 3-1. So I'm just gonna stay.
Okay, so again, this is the optional coin that is offered to both players. The John Silver dollar. Again, lands heads, you get a point. Lands tails, you lose a point. Very simple. Jacob.
Yeah, I love that name, but I'm going to pass on the John Silver dollar.
Okay, Jacob, do you wish to try your luck? You got 2 points on the board.
To keep things neck and neck with Tiki, I'm going to pass as well.
Okay.
Okay,
Is that the first time that both people have passed on the coin?
I don't think it's maybe. It doesn't feel like it is. Though. I think there's at least been one other time where there was a no flip for both contestants. It feels like we've been there. Okay, so folks, we're at the end of 3 rounds, as signified by the John Silver dollar, and now we are going to enter the omnipresent speed round with all the surprises built into it. So
this is where we separate the men from the boys.
Yep. No Homelander here without earning his place. It's a dumb joke. All right, so because I can hear the flies buzzing around that one. All right,
I was like, what?
What is that?
What about Homelander?
Well, it was a clunky The Boys reference, but anyway.
Yeah, it was the Boys reference, but
okay. Anyway.
I haven't watched The Boys, so it was even deader to me.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Let's not resuscitate that one. Okay. So speed round goes like this. Just a little refresher. So you have 30 seconds followed by a 15-second rebuttal. You can use the time as you wish. As traditionally, the 15-second rebuttal is used just in response to what is said in that 30 seconds. Whoever speaks first goes first. We have some pre-submitted audience questions. We also are taking live audience questions. And the audience members will be the judges of those rounds. And also any comments they throw may or may not, kind of help us lean into where we judge otherwise, outside of the audience preordained or ordained questions. So, all right, who's ready?
let's do it.
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to start off with a wheel question. I'm not saying that with a list. I'm talking a question that involves a spinning wheel.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, this is the Wheel of Disney 2000s.
Rolls right off the top.
All right. So, folks, the way this is going to work, these guys do not know the question yet, but they've seen the picks, so they're all prepared and signed off on these. So,
or at least vaguely familiar with them.
yes. So there is a number of live-action Disney-produced films from, you guessed it, the 2000s. Now, they're going to spin the wheel. They are going to be given. They're going to be given something to argue. They're going to be given one of these films, and they're going to have to argue it on behalf of this as their assigned answer. Now, after they spin, I'm going to tell them the question.
Okay.
So we defend our picks regardless of the question.
Yes. Now, Tiki, you won. You won the last round. So, do you wish to go first?
No, I'm going to have Jacob go first.
Okay, Jacob's going to go first.
Does that mean I'll have to answer first?
Yes.
All right.
Let's see what
God,
Jacob's
that's a
getting
good
here.
one.
I can't.
I hope the question is, what is the worst one?
Could be.
All right.
Hey, Jacob Wile's got National Treasure. Now we're going to take that
God
off the board
damn.
to get an even spin here. So now we're going to see what Tiki's getting.
They didn't remove National Treasure.
No, I think, wait, didn't he?
No.
Wait. It
You
was,
want me to redo it? Because
Not
you
really.
saw me go and do that, right? Oh,
Yeah, he didn't hit apply, but you got a different movie anyway, so it's fine.
Does it matter, Dragon?
I mean, are you cool with it, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I mean,
All
it landed on a different movie, so it's cool.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
totally down for holes.
Okay, Tiki's got holes. Now, here is the question. All right. Which is the better Disney-produced film? Oh, I forgot. Little addendum. What is the better Disney-produced film starring a Muppet or Muppets in the lead role?
Oh, hell yes!
Okay,
Oh.
let me clarify. You're okay. Each contestant is going to pick either 1 to 2 at the most, depending on your film. Which in this, again, it's given like Holes has kind of 2 protagonists, and National Treasure. I mean, you could have like whoever you choose. It can be 1 to 2 Muppets in the lead role and/or roles. Your call, and you're going to have to basically argue which Muppet-led film would be better.
Okay, I'm gonna put Robin in the Shia LaBeouf role, and I'm gonna put Miss Piggy in the Sigourney Weaver role.
Okay. Can we can we alter the movie in any way? Does it have to be like exactly the same movie?
Same movie, just Muppets in the role.
So it's like the same dialogue and everything. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh my god. I'll go with recast Benjamin Franklin Gates as Sam the Eagle.
All right.
And I think that's it.
Okay. All right. This is going to be a fun one, folks.
I love it.
There's always a Muppet question on Disney Adventure, but you never know where it's going to appear.
Oh my god. Oh, Jacob, I actually want to see your movie.
Okay, so again, Jacob, whenever you're ready, it'll be 30 seconds on the clock.
It's like National Treasure is kind of like it is steeped in kind of like American history and patriotism, and no Muppet better exemplifies that than Sam the Eagle. Even with like the straight-laced dialogue, more straight-laced dialogue, the movie has like just the sheer ridiculous of seeing a literal American eagle going through this adventure to solve this and steal the Declaration of Independence. The irony entirely writes itself. Just seeing him in this adventure would be entirely ridiculous, but also awesome.
Okay, I'm going to give a little bit of a subtext to the Robin and Miss Piggy thing. So we're going to have it kind of be a vague illusion where Miss Piggy was wronged by Kermit, and so she's taken her anger out on Robin. That's not in the movie. You don't have to add that to the dialogue, but it's just a subtext that's there. So with that, Holes just becomes this really weird, bizarre, I don't know. Jacob's got such a good one. I don't know. I thought I was going somewhere with that, but man,
this is what happens when you get cocky.
All right, rebuttal, Jacob.
All right, I know. Like I said, the entire film basically writes itself. Sam the Eagle. I mean, the entire situation is entirely ridiculous, but somehow fit within the Muppets almost perfectly. Yours is just like, there's like this extra subtext that doesn't even really make sense within the context of the movie itself.
No, it doesn't. Oh, Stanley, let me tell you why I don't like you. Because your great-great-grandpappy wronged me in the past, and now I'm going to take you out into the desert and make you dig holes for me.
Okay, just parenthetically, it's not really what happened in Holes, but
Yeah, I know.
I was like, the timeline doesn't even make sense in that.
I know.
Okay, you know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna have my better judge this one. I'm gonna have Gulliver cast the winner on this.
My big problem with this is that you recast Nicolas Cage in a Nicolas Cage film, which is unacceptable to me.
I know, but it made too much
It's
sense.
very funny. It's very funny, but also
But think about it, though. The dialogue wouldn't be too different. Wouldn't
It's true.
Wouldn't feel too out of place with Sam. I mean, obviously this has no bearing on your ruling, but I'm just saying.
so I'm siding with Tiki on this one.
Oh my god, really?
That's
Yeah.
amazing, but okay.
All right.
All right, Tiki's got
I'll
3
take
on the
it.
board somehow.
I'll take it.
That's
You
it.
asked the wrong person for their opinion this time.
Hey, I had no idea.
We're Nicolas Cage.
But I mean,
bias
hey,
right there.
hey,
Can we just
that's
call
where
it-
the chips fall. I mean,
Sa-
cool.
Sometimes the Sandy defense works.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take it.
All right, fortune favors the bull.
See,
All right.
yeah, I just think Holes would be improved more by having Muppets than National Treasure would, because National Treasure is already just ridiculous.
And that's what I
That's
was
fair. That's fair.
that was the whole crux of my argument. Like,
Hey, I agree with you, Jacob, but I'll let you.
Yeah.
like, that's the whole crux of my argument. Like, that's why I said like some of the dialogue would make more sense with Sam.
All right, Jacob. All right.
All right, okay.
Hey, you're allowed to go on your tirade earlier. I'm just kidding.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's see.
Sorry.
Sorry, we have some fun
No, you're fine,
comments here.
Jacob.
Like,
You're fine.
like Z and K Channel suggested, Gonzo would be a national treasure and Scooter in Holes. I gotta tell you, that's really solid
Scooter would be
casting.
better than
Scooter would have been
Robin, yeah.
perfect as Robin, though. Yeah.
Gonzo was like my secondary choice for National Treasure.
And Jedi Knight suggests Sam Eagle as the John Voight character, which also would have been very fitting. I gotta admit.
Yeah, that does make sense, but
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a pre-submitted question from Jedi Knight.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So Jedi Knight has a really interesting one. Okay, so which Disney protagonist from the 2000s would you want as a best friend?
Oh man. Oh. Can it be Disney or Pixar or just Disney? What's the parameters here?
I'm gonna stick with Disney, but it can be any medium in Disney, just not Pixar.
Just not Pixar. Okay. Pacha.
All
Or
right,
would that count? Is that not a main character?
Oh well, that's a good point. I mean, Cusco would. I mean,
You know
they're
what?
kind of
Cusco's a title character. I'm gonna not count that. I'm gonna disqualify that.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say like he's like the co-lead, so that kind of works.
thing. So I mean,
I know I'm kind of giving myself with that one, but I mean,
personally, I would say Lilo, but Lilo is pretty high maintenance. So, oh man, that's a good question. It's a legitimately really good question.
remember, Jedi, you're gonna call this one.
I kind of already have my idea, but I'm still betting.
Okay, so just to be clear, Dragon, it has to be a main character.
Well, the wording exactly was
main
protagonist. I'm just saying
Milo
the word.
Thatch.
Okay, Tiga's got Milo.
Jim Hawkins.
Okay.
Tiga's got Milo. Jacob's got Jim Hawkins. Okay.
All right. Milo Thatch, I feel like, is a character that has a heart of gold. Like, he's not necessarily like a best friend who's going to get you out of the physical altercations, but he's going to be a best friend that has your back. He's going to be a best friend that can help you with tech issues, I'm sure. He's nerdy. He's got the brains. I'm sure you can probably, for me, a best friend would qualify. You have to do podcasts with them, so I'm sure he could probably do a good podcast. I don't know. I just feel like Milo Thatch is very lovable. Jim Hawkins kind of has too rough of an edge.
I wouldn't even say Jim Hawkins has that rough of an edge. He's not like your like bad boy or anything like that. He's just someone who wants to go on an adventure. And sometimes best friends, those are the kinds of people you want to go on your adventures with. He's this kind, lovable. He just wants to see the world, or in this case, the stars. And he has ambitions. He's got your back. He's your best friend. He would exactly be you go and do stuff with him, like what friends do. And he would also help you with the physical altercations as well. So he's got that.
I mean, like I said, I feel like Jim is much more of a meathead, and Milo is much more of a brain. So it's kind of is like, what kind of friend do you want? And for me personally, I always side with the friends with the brains because you got to have stimulating conversation. Stimulating conversation. Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, I wouldn't exactly call Jim Hawkins a meathead. I mean, sure, he's not exactly as smart as Milo, but he's at a big heart. He's friendly where it counts, and he also wouldn't leave you for the first hot girl he sees in an underground cavern.
Okay. Well,
I mean, to be fair, they abandoned him too. They straight up stabbed that dude in the back.
Well, but
it's a shame you didn't make that point when the clock was going, but say will be.
Well, Jacob didn't bring the point up yet. I'm sorry. Anyways.
All right. So Jedi Knight, you're gonna call this. And he says he's listening, so we're gonna wait on you to call this round. Just gonna give him a minute. I was gonna read some comments here. Ian K. Channel says he's a Michael J. Fox character. Of course, his heart is golden.
Didn't Joseph Gordon-Levitt voice Jim Hawkins?
Yes, that's a young JGL.
Oh, did he
sure,
really?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
You didn't know this?
How did I not know that?
How did you not know this?
I don't know how I did not know that. That's crazy.
So it's another golden character.
Yeah, but Michael J. Fox is Michael J. Fox. So
I'm not going to deny Michael J. Fox. I'm not going to deny him that, of course. Of course, Michael J. Fox is a heart of gold. He's, as you said, Michael J. Fox.
Z and K says Emperor's New Groove is a buddy film, so I feel Pacha would count. Yeah, but
I was perfectly fine with you going with Pacha.
I feel like the reason I disqualified myself from Pacha was because, like I said, Kuzco is clearly the title character of that movie. So, I mean, maybe if the movie was called Empire of the Sun, I'd be more inclined.
Okay, right. We got a ruling. Okay, Jedi Knight says Jim Hawkins nearly won because of the abandonment argument, but the counter-argument was good. I chose Milo because there was more discussion of his personality, though Jim isn't a meathead. So
it's been a long time since I've watched Treasure Planet, so I need to actually go back and get a grasp on Jim's personality.
I'm in. Let's do it.
That's Jake's favorite.
Yep.
Oliver's, sorry.
It's
too many people's names.
It's an underrated one of Musker and Clement's works.
I just know all the bullshit Musker and Clement had to go through to get that film made in the first place.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's almost more. I like the movie, but it's almost more fascinating than the actual movie itself.
Right.
Okay, let's see. So Tiki, you've got 4 on the board. So if you get this next one, then you win. But Jacob's not down and out yet. But he's gonna have to be on his A game.
I thought I've been doing pretty good this time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have. Just I don't know. Sometimes the coins.
I still feel like I won that. I won the Muppet debate based on technicality, but
I mean, I'll give you the Jim Hawkins versus Milo one.
Right.
Okay, Claudia has a question. I'm going to use it as another audience question. All right. Okay, Claudia says up here, take it like the 1059 one. It says, what is the best 2000s Disney live-action show?
I'm sorry, the 1059 one? What?
Well, I'm sorry, the one, 7:59 your time of the comment.
Oh,
PM.
Okay, hold on.
7:59 p.m.
Okay, hold on. Gotcha. 1 second, guys. Sorry, a lot of comments. Really appreciate them. Okay, best 2000s live action Disney show. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm not really. Lizzie McGuire, I guess. I'm not really all that well versed. Claude, you're going to be disappointed in my knowledge.
Phil of the Future.
Ah,
Starburst would pick Degrassi.
Degrassi was Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Degrassi was.
Was it Nickelodeon?
Technically, it was a Canadian import.
Yeah, I don't know. It came on Nickelodeon. I don't know if it was necessarily strictly.
It aired on Nickelodeon, but it was definitely not a Nickelodeon production.
It still wasn't Disney though.
Regardless, you're right. Yes.
Well, Starburst, much like me, is dumb enough to assume that it's a Disney thing. So how about that?
Okay, so Claudia, remember you're going to be calling this. So hopefully you're still around. Okay.
Right.
Are you ready, Tiki?
y'all know I'm not the target audience for Lizzie McGuire, right? But my sister was super into Lizzie McGuire, so I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. And I do think that Lizzie McGuire was a very smartly written show. It had likable characters. It had the little animated, animated character of Lizzie. I feel like it definitely set the groundwork for stuff like Hannah Montana and iCarly, and it arguably did it even better than those shows did.
Phil the Future was actually kind of unique among the Disney sitcoms. I mean, it told an interesting story, and I don't think it even had if I recall correctly, it didn't even have a laugh track, which is incredibly rare around that time. But it was like the suburban family, but from the future, and it felt like it was told a very unique story with a bunch of interesting characters, including their pet caveman, and just basically the entire adventures of this future family adjusting to the past. It created a lot of unique scenarios and unique situations.
Phil of the Future is a fun time for sure, but I feel like it's derivative of both Xenon and also Third Rock from the Sun, both in terms of like it's the sitcom version of the Xenon premise, right? Whereas, like I said, Lizzie McGuire, I feel like has a ton more cultural impact.
The cultural impact doesn't mean it's a better show, though. I mean, you could easily call Lizzie McGuire derivative of other girl shows around the time, just with the animated segment attached onto it. Phil of the Future, though maybe not as remembered as Lizzie, is still a better scripted show, if you ask me.
Right.
Okay, Claudia, ball's in your court. While we're waiting for Claudia, I'm going to read some of the other suggestions from the audience. So, Jedi Knight said, maybe Sweet Life.
Oh, I should. Sweet Life was good. Should have gone with Sweet Life.
iCarly isn't Nick, but my point was that Lizzie McGuire kind of set the stage for those kind of like teen girl sitcoms.
He called him Meathead like Archie Bunker. That's funny.
Meathead.
Z&K Channel suggested a three-way tie between That's So Raven, Sweet Life, and Lizzie McGuire. So, you know.
I really should have thought of Sweet Life.
I mean, Sweet Life is solid. Like I said, I'm way more familiar with the Nickelodeon side of things, but
Drake and Josh, my man.
I'm amazed you didn't pick Even Stevens, Tiki.
I don't believe it or not. I've probably watched more Lizzie McGuire than Even Stevens. Honestly,
really? Huh?
Yeah, honestly, because my sister and I snuck into the Lizzie McGuire movie. That's a fun childhood memory we have.
Jedi Knight's like quoting Venom here, like, now apologize.
Didn't Christy Carlson Romano play the sister in Even Stevens?
Yeah. It was it was like the cool crossover thing. Oh my god, the sister from Even Stevens is Kim Possible? That's awesome. Also, Ricky Ullman from Phil the Future was in the the drama movie.
Yep, I know that.
I know Claudia's in the comments, but I guess he's really deliberating right now.
The suspense. He's just keeping us in suspense.
Showman.
Yes. All right, let me see if there's anything else here. Okay, we got a ruling. Okay, Claudia says Lizzie McGuire, but my pick would have been That's So Raven. I'm still mad about the Lizzie McGuire revival being canceled, so I think he voted
honestly,
for it,
Claude, same, and I'm not even in the Lizzie McGuire target demographic, but I am mad about that.
Tiki, you sweet gullible fool, you won!
I think this is the first time I haven't won a single speed round question.
Yeah, it's crazy.
God.
Yeah.
Usually I can just turn around and win with these things.
It's
I know.
True, yeah.
Yeah, you lucked out.
But like I said, this is the first time I haven't gotten a single speed round question.
Yeah.
And I thought I was brought my A game to this.
Well, you did, but it wore off, I guess. I don't know.
Well, maybe next time then.
Maybe next time. There's always next time. Okay. So,
and this is the one time that the that the random generator was nice to me.
I know it was a cruel, elaborate hoax, Jacob.
Oh god.
Okay, let's get back to kind of our
I'm-
main stage, Tiki.
We have been bammed.
Are you sure you don't want to do one or two more exposition rounds if we have anyone else who wants to do a question?
All right, okay, if anyone has a question, ideally someone who hasn't submitted one before. I'm thinking
So probably
maybe
Z and K.
Yeah, Z and K. If you have a question for us, pitch it our way now, and we'll do an exhibition bout. Otherwise, we're probably gonna pack up and go home. I think. I mean, I have one question that's kind of that might work.
It's an expedition where none of the beans.
Yep.
What's your question, Dragon? I don't know if we're going to do it or not, but just throw it out there.
All right. The question is, hold on. Oh, here we go.
And can you tell us what the Venom coin would have meant?
Well, there was no Venom coin. He pulled a Venom quote. I just kind of read it.
What I mean is, like you said, that if you would have gone tail, something would have happened later on.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, the snake, the poison tail. Basically, if there was, there might had Tiki had lost the coin toss, it probably would have been in kind of the round, basically the game-winning point. It probably would have been denied to him.
Oh.
Yeah,
home on the range. Home on the range. Home on the range.
Okay, we got a question from Z and K Chan. We're gonna go with it. All right, so it is better original movie pitch. Wait, what? Better original pitch. Oh,
I'm
I guess
assuming he's saying the better premise.
Okay. So Chicken Little or Home on the Range. So Tiki, you said Home on the Range.
I'm saying Home on the Range all day, every day.
All right.
Chicken Little.
Yep, you got Chicken Little, buddy.
Jacob, do you even want to do this?
I have a unique art. I have a way of going about this.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to win, but I have a way of going about this.
You just sounded so defeated there.
Z and K specify, guys. Z and K specifies, as in what movie in its original draft form would have more potential: Sweating Bullets or the original Holly Hunter pitch of Chicken Little.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the original Holly Hunter.
I don't either, honestly. I know some things about Sweating Bullets.
I mean, not much is known about Sweating Bullets either. I mean, just the basic concept, of bounty hunter cows.
Uh-huh.
I think it was just basically an alternate title. Now, I think that.
I don't know about this question. I'm sorry, Z&K.
Okay, says that. Oh wait.
As far as I know, I thought Sweating Bullets was just an alternate title that they didn't want to use because
that's what I thought too. Yeah.
Because bullets being in the title, they didn't want to market a movie with bullets.
Okay, I'll tell you what. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go with Z and K. I'm gonna toss the question. I'm gonna let you judge it though. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, so I love Lilo and Stitch's marketing campaign. Stitch, crashing all the Disney films. So, which Disney film from the past decade should Stitch?
Oh, okay.
Crash?
So from the 2010s.
Yes, from the 2010s, but this is a 2000s character. So which?
I mean, it's got to be Frozen, right? It's got to be Frozen.
Tiki's got Frozen.
Let's see. See which movie just basically act like a little interstitial then?
Yeah. So it's like Stitch crashing the movie though, so not just the trailers. Like what Stitch crashed the movie. So Stitch is just in this movie now.
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say okay. Fuck. Well, I guess I'm stuck with Frozen.
Yep.
But
Sure.
Because I was just saying, he could crash the Let It Go scene and it'd be hilarious.
No, I mean, no, you can have that as far as it goes. I'm just saying Stitch crashes a movie, as it's not just the trailer. So
okay, got it. Okay, well.
It can be as much in the movie as you want, but Stitch just crashed the movie.
Picked something like Wreck-It Ralph, but I guess I'm stuck with Frozen. It's fine.
Okay, does it have to be like a major part of the movie? Or
it can be any length you want. Just Stitch is in the movies, crash the movie. He's not supposed to be there, but he is.
Okay, Big Hero 6.
All right, Big Hero 6.
Okay, so Dragon, I'm sorry. Can it just be a cameo? Can it just be
I told you, anything you want. Okay. Just he's in the movie. What do you want from me?
All right.
It's not the trailer.
Okay. Stitch eating his way through Sugar Rush would be fun. That would
Yeah,
be fun.
he could be just like the Cybugs.
Okay.
But we can't go with that now.
You know what would make Frozen better? If in the middle of Let It Go, Stitch just crashed the scene, man. It's Elsa's big moment, but Stitch is just like, nah, I'm gonna take the spotlight. Like, I don't know. I'm really thrown off because I misunderstood the question.
And he like whips out a guitar and like starts singing Elvis or something.
That's what I'm saying. It would just be such a better movie. God, this reminds me of the whole like Doug Walker critique, like the Doug Walker pop quiz hotshot thing of like, oh, you know, he did that. Sorry, that's lame reference, really vague reference. Moving on.
My idea for crashing Big Hero 6 is just kind of like well, just they're like one of the routines that they were doing during the movie, but instead like Big Hero, like instead Stitch randomly just pops out of nowhere and starts terrorizing the city because that's what he was programmed for, terrorizing people of San Francisco, and this creates something where like it endears the people to Big Hero 6 before their big showdown with the villain.
Okay, after Stitch crashes Let It Go, he then goes on a tirade through Arendelle, which makes for a much more exciting climax than the climax that we actually got. And it turns out that Stitch is working with Hans the whole time. There, better.
Damn, it actually does sound pretty cool. I mean, it would throw off the movie, but it's still pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I think the weakest part of Frozen is the third act, so, Anyways.
Plus the thing with adding Stitch in the movie, it could also give more impetus for Fred's creation of his costume. It's like, ooh, that looks so cool. I should do that. I should copy that. Instead, just basically just being like, oh, I want to be a monster. It's like, ooh, I could use his own image against him.
Oh, I have a rebuttal for that, but I can't say it.
Okay,
yeah, I know. I mean, I was just doing whatever stick at this point.
All right, ZNK channel, you call the winner of this round.
I mean, this round is worth nothing anyway.
Yeah,
so.
just for bragging rights, really. It's the exhibition bouts, just for fun. Just you call the winner. I'm gonna read some comments just in the meantime for the bit here. As ZNK earlier brought up, by the way, when that live action Lilo and Stitch remake comes out, they should totally do the same with the trailers, but with the live action Stitch attacking previous remakes that have happened.
Oh, hell yes.
That is an excellent idea, sir.
Oh my God.
That is a great idea.
If they could get all the actors to do that, that would be amazing.
Jedi Knight threw out a really good suggestion of Stitch should crash Moana, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yep, and let's see, we have ZNK also earlier bringing up the whole, only if he steals everyone's left shoe. I believe in Big Hero 6, or, honestly, he could go for either when he's terrorizing either end.
I thought the whole point of crashing into a big city, because that was his programming, was a good idea.
That is his programming. That is a really good point, yeah.
Yeah. And stealing everyone's left shoe, that is also. Yeah. Fireblast Studios came in. He said, "Hi, I just got back from reenacting the entirety, except for the parts I forgot because I was tired, of The Emperor's New Groove."
So it's the entirety except for the parts I forgot.
Thanks.
Let me hear from the code judges while we're waiting on ZNK, just for our own vanity's sake here. So, guys, you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I always have
you're not bored at the end here. I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
It usually gets opinionated and heated and weird, but it's fun.
Thank you guys for coming aboard.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Is there anything y'all want to plug?
If somehow your listeners don't know about it yet, I have a media company called Hot Chocolate Media. It's hotchocolatemedia.net. We have a new podcast out called Dead North, which is original horror content from theater groups, mostly in Minnesota, but there's a few from other places as well. So if you like original horror in audio format, it's really a cool thing to check out. And I met Tiki and Dragon through another show we did, which is called Super Academy. Very young watcher friendly, low budget superhero show that as far as I can tell, they really enjoy. So that's pretty good. You should check that out too.
It's kind of like a Sky High almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think CNK has an answer.
Yeah, he does. CNK says, I say, big dramatic pause, Big Hero 6 fits with him better.
Yeah, I win.
Yeah. You finally won a question in the speed round, kind of, but not really.
But he did say that his snow is water, which is his weakness.
No, Jacob, to be fair, I thought that the point about like the big city being like Stitch's programming, like of course, like that made a lot of sense. Like that was hard to argue against.
I mean, my second point wasn't that great, but
all right. Also, Claude says, Jedi Knight says, could you imagine if Stitch met Captain Jack Sparrow? There would be nothing, only chaos.
It's like two men that only want to watch the world burn.
All right.
It's like, hello there, little blue thing.
All right. I think that'll do it, folks. I think that's a wrap. Dragon, take us out.
Brings us to an end, folks, of yet another scintillating installment of Disney debates. In this case, the Millennium Edition. But it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully, we'll see you next time. Next debate. I mean, I don't want to get everyone's hopes up, but I think Smart Money is going to be Marvel related. But we'll see. All right, then. Thank everyone for coming in. See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I got the drop.